What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Diet Sauce Monday podcast. Before I get into this episode, I just want to quickly tell you about Wintergree's magnesium gel. I just did an 82-kilometer ultra marathon in Italy, and without this little baby, I promise you I would not have been able to get out of bed the next morning. I got into bed at 4:30 in the morning after running for 22 hours, and my legs started to seize up, and I honestly was a mummy lying in bed, and I didn't know what to do. I put on the magnesium gel, and this magnesium soaked straight into my muscles and really did relieve the pain so that I could have a good 2 hour sleep before getting up in the morning and getting on with my day. Seriously, some incredible stuff. Check their links down below. Wintergreen, we love you. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you in the episode. Right. Charlie and Rob, welcome to the Diet Sauce Monday podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming all this way. The two Mackyard boys.
Good
I'm
for you.
excited. Oh, I'm excited, but I want to settle something early. Who's the better runner? That's why we brought you guys here today together.
So, I don't know. It's got a lot closer, I think, over the last sort of few months. But something that we are both really proud of is we've got two sub 3 hour marathon times between
that
us.
is good.
So they're both mine, but we do have them as a
I saw you
as a
look away there. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is... That's
On
classic.
average, we got one each.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations on that. That's
Thank you very
amazing.
much.
What was it? 250?
259 and 257.
Wow, that's
Thank
on
you.
the button there.
Yeah.
Did you nail the races as well? Like,
My the 257 was the race where my strategy went absolutely to plan. It was an Edinburgh one. The conditions couldn't have been much worse,
Right.
which is super massive headwind running along the coast, like loads of rain. But yeah, like nailed the strategy, which is great. And then the 259 was almost a B race just to kind of see where I was. Kind
Right.
of set off at 3:03 kind of pace. Felt great going through halfway. Put a hammer down and got 2:59.30, I think, in the
Wow.
end. So skin
and
my
that's
teeth.
official chip timing. We don't want
Yeah.
official, unofficial
Yeah.
coming after you.
No, I'm
and
a
that kind of thing.
chip time kind of guy. Yeah.
And you, Charlie?
So I think we need to give the full picture here, right? We can't just look at the marathon distance. I think
Yeah,
we
yeah.
probably need to look at 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, ultra.
He's
So
bringing out all the...
5K is me. 10K, don't know.
That's me.
Half marathon's me. Marathon's Rob. And then ultra, it's quite hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, you
Um,
can't really.
I've
I like
definitely-
the competitive.
Yeah, no, for sure.
10K is me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, as you can tell, we don't really care.
No.
We're
Yeah, really chills about
so
it.
the
Like,
re-
we're
yeah.
not keeping count or anything.
I heard you talking about it on your pod. That's why.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
it snuck into conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you. Thank God Charlie got an injury partway into his marathon training, so
Mm.
at least I can still claim that.
So have you got a marathon on the hill?
Yeah, so I was training for Manchester earlier this year, and my single goal was to get 1 second faster than Rob's marathon time. And yeah, I did a 16-week block. I come from an ultra running background, really.
Yeah.
So like long, slow stuff. Hadn't really done many high intensity stuff. It was all sort of like high volume, but like zone 2.
Yeah.
Not really too structured. Like did a couple of marathons as part of training for longer ultras and stuff like that. But I just thought this year, like throw myself into a proper marathon block and really go for it.
And it was Manchester. Yeah.
It was Manchester, yeah, which was in April, and like everything was going really well. I was training, I was doing kind of a decent interval session a week. I was doing one tempo run a week. I was doing my Sunday long run. I was kind of doing the work, as it were. I did a half marathon. I did Chelmsford half like 8 weeks into my block. Got a time that I was really, really proud of. Felt on top of the world. Then the week after that, I was on a deload week, and I just felt my left knee just blow. And I think it was basically, I think it was an IT band issue.
Wow.
Where I think basically I just haven't done the core strength work on my lower body to be able to take that intensity.
Yeah.
So I just kind of did all the running without doing loads and loads of strength work, which is probably like quite a tale all the time.
It's
for some people.
interesting with injuries like that how they seize up over time. So you're not going to feel them on race day. You're going to feel them 4 or 5 days later, and then you're out for weeks. So
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
been out for a while?
Yeah, I'm actually haven't raced now since March.
Right.
I'm kind of trying to slowly come back, but
I'll tell you, the strength work changed my training.
Yeah.
So I haven't missed a strength session 1 to 2 times a week for I think the last year and a half. And it really keeps you injury free, I think.
Yeah.
And it just forms that base. It changed my running. I can't run quick. I'm like you, slow and steady is my game. And so maybe that's why I haven't got injured. But also, to be fair, the London Marathon, so I did that in April this year. I've never come out of a race more sore than the London Marathon. And that's obviously because you're going at a pace, you're hitting the tarmac hard. You've never really done that before, because ultra and trails definitely lighter on the feet.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why I don't like that your Mackyard is on road and not
Yeah.
trail. Because I feel like that that hitting on the tark and really. So that was probably the closest I got, but still only really like DOMs and muscle fatigue. But I couldn't walk after the London Marathon.
Yeah. Well, it feels like you did it properly then. You left it all out there, right?
Yeah, and I think when you get cramp at the end of the race.
Yeah.
So I think my nutrition. So I went in and I was very big dog. I'd done Ironmans and like what's a marathon. I'll say nutrition I didn't really do to perfection. And the guy I ran with, he said you didn't have enough. Like bottom line. And so I cramped. And then when you run through the cramp, that's when the injuries, I think, and the soreness gets even worse.
Yeah. Well, you'll completely alter the way you run, won't you? If you're running through cramp sort of thing, or you're trying to like keep load off your left calf, you'll put way too much through your right knee, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. So then you come out the other side. So I ran the last 8Ks cramping in all of the muscles.
It's good.
I had to fall over.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, because the problem is there's so many people in the London Marathon. So you're actually doing a lot of this.
Yeah.
You're not running in sequence. You're stepping through people. And so one guy pulled up in front of me and I had to dodge him, and that just my hamstring just went.
Yeah.
Sidestepping. But we digress. I want to know, how was your week? Were you both there with Esme or just you, Charlie?
Just myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess for people at home, so one of my friends, Esme Gummer, is running something she's called the Nations 5K, which is going to be a world first, where she is essentially going to run to every city in the UK and host a run club.
Yeah.
So just to put some numbers behind that, so that's going to be 5,000 kilometers in 100 days. So she's averaging 50K ultra every day for 100 days with no days off.
Yeah.
And that includes these run clubs she's hosting. So the real difference that I see for this challenge is like a lot of people have done some really, really incredible human feats, and you can look at that and say, from a physical perspective, that's just I'm kind of awe-stricken by that. But what Esme is doing is in 100 days she's hosting 76 run clubs, right? So 3/4 of the day she has to go and meet a load of people that want to spend time with her,
That's
go and be
just
happy.
social battery.
Yeah, that's honestly, and she might have a terrible day. She might have been being sick, blisters, everything, and then she has to jump in a van and then go and do a run club.
Is it every day the run club?
No, so there's 76 cities in the UK,
right,
and over 100 days. So she'll be, 7.
So, but now you being on the ground and watching her, I know this is a pretty broad question, but how difficult is it to run 50Ks a day on road like that?
Incredibly difficult,
but
she's making it look much easier.
But that's why I'm asking, because you look on Instagram, she's smiling,
Yeah.
she's cruising when she's running. She's not trotting or
No.
waddling, she's cruising.
Yeah.
Even her form,
Yeah.
like even this deep into the challenge, she's still bouncing. She's still got a smile on her face. She's just doing it and getting it done.
Was she a bit of an athlete before?
Yes.
Okay.
So Esme was a kind of a, she's always been a fitness, right? She used to be a PT. She's done fitness instructor and stuff like that. She's got a base of, let's say, like 10 plus years of endurance and spin, stuff like that. So it's not come out of nowhere, and she's trained really, really hard for this. So every so often in her training, she would just put an Instagram post out to say, I've got a 60K training run this weekend. I'm going to start at 9 a.m. at Victoria Park, and I'm going to run around for 60Ks. If anyone wants to join me, please do. And that wasn't just once or twice she did that. That was like a regular.
So she's one of your Victoria Park teammates.
She is.
If we ever went Victoria versus
100%.
Battersea.
Esme would be pretty high on my list, to be honest. But like she was running, she's on this challenge that I've just come off with her. She's running 530Ks on the flats. And then when a hill gets over a certain gradient, she'll walk it. But like her bulletproof pace is just 530.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about hammering the tarmac. That is 530 is quite fast for me. I mean,
no, for sure. Super impressive. I think what I noticed is she's got a very high cadence. So her feet aren't touching the ground for long, so there isn't so much load going through there. And as Rob said, her form is really, really good. And
she's light as a feather.
She's light, and mechanically she looks great. And she's almost getting fitter. She's almost getting more and more conditioned.
Well, her leg muscles look kind of bigger and bigger every time I look.
Yeah, there's a picture of me and her running next to each other, and hers are twice as big as mine. So maybe we can show that to people. It's pretty embarrassing for me.
But go check it out, because there's still a couple of month and a half left. So go and show your support, get out there to the cities. She's coming down this way.
Absolutely. So she's done Scotland, she's done Northern Ireland, she's now done the whole of the northwest. She's just come down off the northeast now into Yorkshire. Right. So some big cities, Leeds and Bradford, are coming up soon, and Sheffield and all them. So check it out.
I think very early October is the finish date, isn't it?
Okay. And the finish line?
3rd of October, she's running from Victoria Park to, I think, the Mall, Buckingham Palace, and she wants that to be as big as possible.
That'll be massive
so many people can hopefully join her for that, and that's just going to be one big party. So the City of London is her final destination, 3rd of October.
That's going to be big.
Yeah.
So let's look at that, and I'll ask both of you. So why are people doing these massive ultra events? Like, what is the drive? I think what's differentiating? Why is she running 5,000 Ks? Like, what is that going to ignite in someone else? Do you know what I mean? And not only Esme, there's so many people. You guys say goodbye to the guy running from Beijing to London or whatever that crazy distance is going to be. Like, why are these people doing this, do you think?
The hardest geezer's got a lot to answer for, I think.
Yeah.
He really laid that down when Instagram and social media was really taken off.
Yes.
And so I think there is that sort of element. There are people that just have that dog in them that just think, I can really make something of this, and I can, bring eyes upon the sport of running through, doing something absolutely ridiculous and kind of out of this world sort of thing. And then I think there's also just I guess that's the sort of the external factor. There's also kind of the internal factor as well, of just how much can I challenge myself sort of thing. And actually, I think, you found this with a few of your events, the more you promote it externally, the more pressure you put on yourself, and therefore the more likely you are to do it. So I think that's why people are looking for these sort of challenges that they can really sort of put out there. They want to do something amazing. If they make it sort of catchy and, public, then that's probably an extra driver for them.
It's interesting because I see all these people, and because there's more and more, I see it as like, I can do that. Like, I get a feeling like I can do that. I can run 5,000 Ks. Like, I'd love to do that. Do you think a lot of people are looking and getting motivation like that? Or do you think it's only a fair few that actually go, I can do that?
I think in general, there's now a real problem with how easy people are making things look online. Yeah, this 100%. It's a really common theme, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, the sub 3 marathon is the new sub 4 marathon.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone on Instagram is banging out a sub 3 hour marathon, but then you actually look at the stats from London Marathon this year, and it's nowhere near.
Yeah, it was really low, the percentage of people that actually did it.
There were
6%.
There were
6%.
There were far more people that did a 5 hour plus or 5:30 plus than a 3 hour marathon, right?
Yeah.
So that just shows you. Yeah, and I think a lot of people will take motivation from different places, right? I think as long as people take it with a pinch of salt, right? Because I think there's two ways to look at these things. There's the people like yourself who are working full time and then are trying to do 12 to 15 hour training weeks and are literally grafting the whole time. And then there are people who are sponsored athletes, and they're not professional athletes, but they're living the life of a pro athlete.
Yeah.
They can train as much as they want.
The content creator that is a full-time athlete.
100%. And those content creators or whoever they may be, like, they have forged that life for themselves. So they deserve so much respect for getting into that. But I think they say comparison's the thief of joy, don't they? Right? In terms of like comparing yourself, maybe not, but taking inspiration from what they're doing, I think you can absolutely do that for sure.
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy. I struggle with that in the podcast world, because every podcast you come out, he's doing better than you. And you're like, why the fuck is this guy doing better than me? And then that sits in you, but it is a motivator. But then also it can be when you see too many and now you're starting to second guess yourself. And do you think a lot of people at home they get quite scared of watching all this stuff, and actually it backfires? It's like a net negative to see all these people doing these incredible things, but they have to look after a family. They have to do their, not 9 to 5, their 24-hour shift, night shift, like those people that really struggle. And there's this external world that these people are portraying is so beautiful and magical and amazing. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's a good point. And I guess clearly what you don't get with social media is these people's down days and the day that they didn't get out the door and that sort of thing. There probably has to be a bit more of that, to be honest, in terms of kind of bringing that reality in. And then I think you probably really start to break through to those types of people. There's that acknowledgement of, you are doing something amazing, but you're not 100% on it the whole time, sort of thing. I think that could be quite motivational for people. I think you'll also get other people, I guess like myself, that sees these amazing challenges going on, and probably I could never do anything near that, but sets that little fire in me, sort of thing, that thinks, no, I am fully able, I'm fit and healthy, and I'm physically able to give something like that a go, albeit not to those sorts of levels.
Well, what's amazing there is you find what fits for you. How can you challenge yourself to push yourself to the limits? Whatever that limit is for you, doesn't have to be what it is for the hardest geezer. You find your limits, almost like what was the race? Ben Graham round. What is the
Bob Graham?
Bob Graham,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Something like that. But before we get into that, so what brought you guys into running? I know and heard that COVID like a big driver for many of the people that I've had on the podcast, was where the running shoes were put on. But where did you guys really find taking the next step, stepping into the long distance ultra stuff?
Yeah, we probably went through the sort of playbook in terms of people growing up in our generation. So we did team sports back in the Lake District for as far back as we can remember. Not too competitively, albeit I was better footballer and that kind of thing. But got through. Charlie was a better cricketer. He'll remind you. So we got sort of through team sports towards the age of 18, then went away to uni, sort of continued doing that. And for anyone that hasn't played team sports, it's really hard to describe and get to people to understand that sort of changing room mentality.
It's
and you're
cool, yeah.
going out with a team of guys that you or girls that you are mates with outside of football, for example. You would run through a brick wall for them on the pitch, sort of thing. You share a few drinks afterwards. It's an amazing sort of thing to be involved in. And then we both moved down to London, probably similar-ish sort of time. Both tried to kind of pick up team sports. And it didn't have the same sort of
doesn't have that same age
sort of thing. We were still playing to a good standard of sports, but didn't necessarily have that sort of hook kind of thing that we just missed so much. And then COVID hit. Charlie and I moved back to the Lake District, back to our parents' house.
Not a bad place.
Especially with the weather that we had as well. For some reason, it was 10 weeks of wall-to-wall sunshine. So again, we did completely the playbook and bought new bikes and basically just had 100-mile weekend after 100-mile weekend on
Mountain
those
bikes.
With no road bikes.
Road bikes, okay.
But around the Lake District. Really taking advantage of that 1 hour exercise you're allowed to do. We were quick.
Yeah, we did a lot in an hour. 100 miles in an hour every time.
We were quick on the bikes. All right, if anyone asks, we were quick on the bikes.
67k.
Does Boris Johnson watch the podcast? No, okay, fine.
But taking advantage of these beautiful Lake District roads in the sun that didn't have a single soul on them, flying down dual carriageways.
No one's driving around.
Oh, exactly.
Oh my God, that must
so
be unbelievable.
It was an absolutely amazing time. And then I guess the next stage was then post-COVID moving back down to London. And then that's when we lost a bit of the love for cycling because you moved back into sort of fairly central London. You've got 45 minutes of pure shit to get out to a nice hour and a half, 2 hour ride, and 45 minutes of just...
So I just rock Richmond Park.
Yeah.
It's nice. You go 6 a.m. It's quite a nice circuit.
Absolutely. No, it's lovely. It's great. It's not quite the Lake District sort of thing to come back to.
I need to go out to the Lake District.
The Lake District has spoiled cycling for us anywhere in the world. And honestly, because that was our first foray into cycling.
So even today, like if you go out to Lake District, you take the time to go out there and you cycle, it's going to be as good as
unbelievable.
Yeah. Especially this weather.
So how long does it take to get out there?
2 hours 40 minutes on a train.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
That's not too bad. And a car?
A car's longer. A car could take you 5.5, 6 hours.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah, I drove to Snowdonia. Is that the right?
So you're kind of North Wales there. It's a similar time, but slightly different ways up there. But yeah, it'll be a solid 6 hours, I think, to get up there.
I went to Snowdonia to train for my ultra.
Yeah, nice.
It's quite nice elevation to try and get some elevation because training for an ultra in London is tough.
Yeah, really tough. But yeah, as Rob said, like we kind of got spoiled with that, and we were kind of, I think we. Maybe fair weather cyclists, like when the weather was banging, when there was no drivers on the roads, and when we had really nice like mountain passes to cycle over, it was great.
Yeah.
Came back to London, brought our bikes down. They just stayed in the shed basically, didn't they? And we were just like, right, what else can we do here now to progress this and try and get that feeling? Because in London, we're all pretty time poor, aren't we? Right? There's a lot of stuff going on, so it's what's the best bang for your buck exercise wise? And for us, it just became chuck your pair of running shoes on and get straight out the door rather than cycling 45 minutes out to get riding.
Yeah. So then you sort of grew your love for running, you grew for love for running. And take me through where you're sitting now, because you've managed to get out the game. Are you ever going to go back to finance? How long are you in now to your 12 months?
I'm almost 5 months in. Yeah, so I'm 5 months in. So so a bit of context. Rob and I have both worked in finance for the past decade, maybe slightly more.
Same.
But yeah, exactly, just like yourself. So we've been in banking in the city for the last 10 years, quite intense jobs. And Rob and I have started our running events company, Mackyard Events, 2.5 years ago. So
you started while you were working?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So we've been going 2.5 years, and we started. We basically provide running experiences all over London and also now in the Lake District.
Okay.
So we were doing that whilst both operating full-time jobs, and it was hell. And it was really, really tough. We had a tough couple of years because The job is always the thing that will take your priority, because someone is always on the end of the phone to be telling you to do something, or you're accountable to other people. Unfortunately for us, Mackyard was always the thing that slipped down the priority list, and we should be pretty proud of some of the events we put on given our constraints. But when you look back, it was like cobbling together an event, just about getting there. We've got some stupid stories of like arriving at events and setting things up and stuff like that, and it what didn't feel super sustainable. At a point where running events and running in general is really, really taking off, and you're seeing a lot of different event providers pop up and all that kind of stuff. So the space is getting more competitive. So Rob and I basically had a chat to say, where do we want to take this? Like, what's kind of the next
How
chapter
did you
for
choose
us?
who got to break from the
Well,
finance role?
I think I had more of a drive to want to go and do it full time than Rob did at that moment. So I don't think it was never like one of us has got to go. Who is it? It was probably it was probably me knocking at Rob's door to say, listen, I think there's an opportunity here for one of us to go and to kind of have a proper go at this.
So being someone super interested in that leap, did you have a bit of a like baseline survival financially? Like how did you manage losing that salary and all that type of thing?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm on a 12-month career break.
So does that mean the bank has given you that?
Correct.
So you can go back?
Yeah.
So that's quite nice.
Yeah, so my job is there. So that basically someone has come and replaced me for 12 months.
And are they paying you at all in the 12 months?
So zero salary for 12 months.
Did you have to work at the company for a decent amount of time to get
5 years? Yeah. And even then it's business need. It's a conversation case by case basis. So they had no obligation to say yes. So super appreciative of my boss and the
that's
company
amazing, because
saying
that's
yes.
a nice little safety net to have.
For sure.
It takes a bit of risk off the table, doesn't it? As well,
because you can also, I guess, you can go back any time between the 12 months.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. So yeah, I deliberately wanted to do it that way because my job was getting on top of me, and I wanted a break regardless to go away and do some different things. And I've traveled a bit and I've done some different things in this time, but I also really wanted to try and put my all into something that we had created and that we had built. So on the financial side of things, like I think the one of the benefits of working in a job like that, you do kind of give a lot of hours to it, but those jobs do pay well.
Yeah.
To the point where I was able to save up enough runway for 12 months in my view.
Okay.
So basically I can kind of, I've had to cut back on things. I've had to say no to a couple of
even
holidays.
Even a baseline for 12 months
for
is
sure.
good. Yeah.
But I can pay my bills, and I can
But then
definitely
also
live
I
for a year.
presume you're getting some income revenue from the business.
Yeah, and it's
reinvested.
yeah, we are, and right now this year we're kind of in reinvestment stage. We're still kind of 2.5 years into the business, so right now everything's being reinvested. And I think there was basically an agreement this year that if it's my choice to go out on a whim for a year, then any money that we earn this year, the most of it will go back into the business, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But I think it needs that baseline to then go and propel it into years future, whatever happens job-wise.
You need to figure it out. You need to see it on the ground. You need to see if there's actually like an opportunity here.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to see that unless you're there. I mean, it's easy for me to say, but I can only imagine what it's like on that side, having all day to sort of work on your passion project. Because also you'll work a lot harder and a lot more hours because this is something that you love, and you're going to get out there and meet the people that you want to meet, be surrounded by the people that you want to be surrounded by.
Yeah, there is always the sort of the phrase that goes with these things, isn't it? You sort of swap the 9 to 5 for the 24/7 sort of thing. Because you're not told when to work, it can go one of two ways.
It definitely doesn't feel like work. Like working on the podcast outside of my 9 to 5 does not feel. I don't feel like I go home and go back to work. I just go.
Yeah,
you just kind of do it. You're like obsessed with it. So it's like a weird thing.
Yeah, it certainly didn't feel like that on sort of some of those like 11 p.m. kind of conference calls that we were doing, prepping for events and that sort of thing. It felt pretty intense at times. So this has just enabled like a bit of pressure to be taken off, plus just a hell of a lot more time spent on outreach and R&D and these sorts of things. We were doing events and we found venues, for example, that were suitable. And so that became our event space because we knew it worked. We didn't know it was optimal. We didn't know, whether it would be best to travel around London, but we just knew it worked.
Right.
So that's kind of what we, went with. Whereas now even things like reaching out to brands, if they've got a, Wednesday 2 p.m. slot, we don't have to work our work diaries around them. Charlie jumps on a call. I can make it if possible.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it just sped things up, made things a lot more efficient.
So in terms of Mackyard, tell someone that hasn't heard of you before exactly what it is, because it's obviously not just the Mackyard Ultra. It's not just the 6.7K loop event. There's a little bit more behind that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we say we're for the misfits, right? So we are for the people and the formats that don't fit the mold.
Yeah.
So in the continuation of the story Rob and I were telling earlier, right, in terms of we've come back to London, we've kind of got cycling out of our system, we were into running. Naturally, we were competitive, but we also pushed each other. We entered races together. We did like half marathons together, that kind of stuff. It was one Hackney half, wasn't it? I think in 2023, Rob and I did Hackney together. I think he dragged me around with like a lung hanging out, and he was just cruising.
Hackney's a good race.
Hackney's an unreal race. It pretty much goes past the end of my road in Hackney as well. So like you have to do it.
Home ground, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And me and Rob ran that and then walked back round. For the people that know Hackney, know that final corner that where you kind of turn and you hit the 13-mile mark. Right. That's like a great corner because everyone is. Can you swear here?
Yeah.
Everyone is fucked at that point, right? So me and Rob came back and we clapped people in, and we actually clapped like until the last runner came in. Oh, right. This lady, and there was like a support car behind, like a sweeper car, and unfortunately, a lot of people have actually left by that point because kind of at the 2.5-3 hour point by that time. No, definitely 3 hours actually at least. And we clapped, and I just remember like it happened to a few people, but there's like her. She had her head down. She had a name on her bib, and we were like, "Go on," maybe like Jenny, go on, Jenny, and she went, looked up, and then ran, and we were like, honestly, if you could bottle that feeling up, it would be worth $1 million. Yeah. So we kind of said to ourselves, we were like, how do we create this? How do we take this feeling and actually start to deliver that ourselves? But everyone we know in London's training for a half marathon or a marathon. So we said that's really saturated. We're not going to win in that space. It's very much performance focused, isn't it? It's very much like look at my splits, all this kind of stuff. When we say we're for the misfits, we thought, well, what else could we do? And we the first one we ever did was the Mackyard Ultra, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So this has, I guess, become our flagship event from very, very humble beginnings.
So when was that event?
So that was probably about 2.5 years ago.
Oh, wow, so you did one
a
while ago, I guess.
Yeah.
So to my eyes, obviously with the big dog, the Mackyard has. It's funny when you come across a brand, and it's like that to me is like your big first event.
Yeah.
But you guys have had many events before that. It's just the first one that's like come to everyone's.
I guess it's probably
screen.
like any brand, isn't it? And again, I can't think of the exact phrase, but yeah, you work 20 years to be an overnight sensation, sort of thing. We've not quite 20 years, but that 2.5 years of just hard graft probably originated in that very same park that we watched Hackney from, just outside Charlie's house. Yeah. We made it a, no fee paying, non-commercial event, just a true proof of concept to see if we could put on an event for people. So the, as I say, concept was simple. We can go into what a Mackyard Ultra is, but we made this one invite only. So it's friends or friends of friends. And we just got 35 psychos that joined us at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning in a park in East London, all about to run until they couldn't run anymore.
So it was until the last person dropped.
That was it. So for people that don't know what a Mackyard Ultra is, it was originated in the US by Lazarus Lake, so the same founder of the Barkley Marathons, if that means anything to anyone. And the concept is very, very simple. There's a 4.2 mile loop that people do on the hour, every hour until there's no one remaining. Yeah. So if you finish in 45 minutes, you're at a 4.2 mile loop, you've got 15 minutes to eat, rest, stretch, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, which is 6.7 kilometers.
That's right. Yeah. And if you finish in 55 minutes, you've got yourself 5 minutes. Yeah. But it's on the hour, every hour. So you can't start early, you can't finish
until the last
late
man stands.
Until there is only one person remaining.
Right. Yeah. But I heard that your next event is only 100 miles as the finish line.
That's right.
It's not until the last man drops.
There are a couple of ways in which I guess you can do Mackyard Ultra style events. One of which is a super purist event that a lot of companies have had good success with, and that's where you will get people going for days and days and days. And very strict, no on-course support. They're very, very strict in terms of some of their rules in which that they follow. Another I guess format is capped at 24 hours. Right. And I guess that's why 4.2 miles might seem an odd distance, but it's so that if you do complete 24 hours, that's you hitting 100 miles. Right. Exactly.
So I think it's worth adding to that the 24-hour version and the truly uncapped version are the two kind of gold standard, officially graded by Lazarus Lake, recognized that he recognizes as a backyard ultra.
Okay.
So if you want yours to be an accredited event or an accredited backyard ultra, you have to write to Laz, explain your experience, explain your background, and take your race kind of through that process. So 24 hours is a version, but I would say a true backyard ultra is unlimited.
But I kind of like the 100-mile finish because it's like you're all in it together.
Yes.
Like we need to get all of us to the finish line.
Yeah. And I completely agree, and we've actually noticed that change in psyche completely with our events.
With the 2 different races.
Yeah, so with a true open-ended backyard, where the world record is 119 yards, 119 hours, which is not far off 800k,
which was hit recently. Eh?
No, that one was actually discredited. So the backyard ultra space, obviously, it's developing very quickly, and it's kind of come a little bit out of nowhere. So the rule book is not yet, like, there are a small number of rules.
That's obviously massive.
The BPM one is massive, and I think until now hasn't been an official backyard ultra. That's why they've called it the BPN Go One More Ultra. So there's wording. The wording's quite important. But basically the one that happened in Russia, where a guy ran for 122 hours, which is for the 5 days essentially, which is 500 miles, 800k. That was removed and discredited as an event because they had certain support out on the course and all that kind of stuff. But the official now world record is 119 yards, which is 119 hours of running, as Rob said, with 10 to 15 minutes rest, and probably less than that actually as the race goes on. You might have 8 minutes per hour to do that.
So what are you seeing as people that stand on the sideline of these events? What makes someone finish an ultra? Like, or let me ask this differently. Why did people quit? Like, what would bring them out of an ultra?
So there's a famous stat that in a backyard ultra, 75% of the withdrawals come in the chair in the camp. Okay, so if you think about the setup of this ultra, right, you've got a base camp which will have a kind of a start and finish arch. It'll have a starting corral where all the competitors will be. You'll have a couple of tents around and that kind of stuff. Competitors will then run that 6.7k loop, and then they have.
So it's one loop. It's not 2 loops.
It can be whatever.
And your race?
Our race depends on the location.
Right.
So the London one is multiple loops of a closed circuit track.
Yeah.
The one we do in the lakes is a singular loop of a 6.7k loop.
They say that double loop's quite difficult because you come past home base twice before you can stop.
100%, and that's when you get into a little bit more of the what is the Mackyard Ultra versus what is a true backyard ultra. We can obviously get into that. What makes people quit? It's the thought of, so if you think of you've done like the 82k you did recently, right, in the mountains, right?
Yes.
You knew at the start of that day that by hook or by crook you had to run 82 kilometers.
Yes.
That was what you were aiming for, right? And you got through it, right? And you got round it. But you got around, that's the important thing. But you always had that finish in your mind. This is the race with no finish line. So this is where we speak about the difference in psyche, right? If you're in a truly open-ended backyard and say there's 100 people start, and some people go for milestones, they might run a first marathon, first 50k, first 100k, and they drop out and they're happy with that because if they get a number in their mind, it's so easy to quit because you feel like you've achieved that. So some people will see it as a set distance race. Some people will turn up thinking that knowing that they are going to be running for days, and they will not stop until either they win the race or they drop down and they can't run any longer. So I think what stops people are 2 things. One is they have a milestone in their head, whether it's conscious or subconscious. They will make a deal with themselves that it's okay to stop because they've hit that milestone. The second reason people will quit is because they might look left and look right and think these 2 are just machines and I'm not going to get anywhere close to them. So why run for another 10 hours if I'm not going to beat them?
Right.
There is probably a third one, and it's only a very, very small percentage of people that actually fit into this category, but it's where their bodies just literally let them down. Jordan Stanton, the big dog, he was one of those. His mind was not giving up. The competitors around him did not bother him one bit. But because this one was a looped course, you could almost kind of gauge how you were doing on your overall lap with what time you came past that start line.
Right.
And he just sort of started to bleed time and wasn't quite keeping up to the point where he just knew he wouldn't make it back that lap physically.
Right. His legs start to go. And like you said, they're quitting in the chair. Is that because legs are starting to seize up, muscles are starting to seize up?
I think so. And also, like, that's the biggest decision point as well, right? You're comfortable in your chair. You've got food there. You've got water next to you, sort of thing. You're, a 5-minute text away from an Uber sort of thing to go home. Whereas particularly if you start going into the night, you're just, as soon as you get through that start line, you can't quit for another hour. But as Charlie said, I think the psychological element is by far and away the biggest one. You'll get people that are very psychologically strong. They will come to do a certain distance, and the strength of their psyche is what will get them to that distance, but it's probably what will stop them going any further.
What's really interesting is the strength of their psyche. So like, how do we know how strong our minds are? Because it's not something you can measure. Do you guys see it in particular people like immediately? Can you see if someone's got that psyche?
Not necessarily.
It's an interesting one because
but it is interesting. I don't know if you've ever watched the TV program SAS, Who Dares Wins.
No.
It's like a reality TV show where people go and do sort of SAS selection tasks or get put in that situation. And they always say the people to look out for are the grey men. So those people that won't let their ego get ahead of them. They won't be at the front. They won't be tailing off the back.
Yeah.
They'll just be doing
They're
everything
stoic,
to exactly.
almost.
Yeah. And I think, to Charlie's earlier point, it's those and the people, when you ask them what you're here for, they say to win or to go as far as I can. They're the ones to be scared of.
It's so interesting because I'm reading Ross Edgley's book now, The Art of Resilience, and like he is crazy. Like, and I'm trying to get into his psyche. He talks a lot about mental preparation and mental fortitude that some people just have.
Yeah.
I mean, that he was swimming with jellyfish on his face for hours. You're like, what the fuck? And I'm just trying to, and that's what's nice about these endurance events. And I think to myself, why do I do an ultra? Am I trying to find out how hard my mental psyche is? I don't know, because it almost fucking cracked.
Yeah.
But I just find it so interesting.
I think that's what ultra running is. If you boil it down, it's, can you get comfortable being uncomfortable? Because, you'll get to a point when, I guess the Bob Graham's an absolutely perfect example of that. Like, you're getting battered with wind and rain and that sort of thing. And you think, what am I going to tell the guys in the office on Monday? Like, why am I doing this?
But
sort
that's
of thing?
the thing.
And
You tell them and they just go, cool.
Yeah.
Because I got respect for you guys, and I'll tell you right now, anyone that does anything under 110 kilometers, anything over 6,000 meters of climbing, you've got my respect. It is fucking hectic.
Yeah.
Like, people won't understand 6,000 meters of elevation until you do it. When I saw it on my race thing, I was like, oh yeah, that's just 2,000-3,000s. I've done that. Like, no, it is hectic. Tell me a little bit about that race.
Yeah, so the Bob Graham is probably a little bit even lesser known, right? So this is the Bob Graham is not actually an official race.
Yeah,
it's what's called a round, which is quite common in the UK, where someone some point in history will have gone and ran this round in a certain time, and that will have set a marker down for people then to go and copy.
Yeah.
So a Cumbrian guy from a place called Keswick called Bob Graham, 1932, on his 42nd birthday, set out to go and run 42 peaks around the Lake District.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that loop took him, was 106 kilometers, 8,200 meters of vert, and touched 42 Lakeland fells.
So that vert is fucking crazy. 106 Ks,
Yeah.
8,000 meters, 8,300. That is,
it's
like,
fucking.
and what's nice is I know what that's like now. You know what I mean? Like, I can, I'm thinking about it and I'm like feeling you. I'm in the trenches in my mind with you. Like, it's hectic.
And like, there aren't many flat sections within that, right? Of it, and it is just pure up and pure down.
That's what mentally got to us. So I did it in a team of 4. It was that we never got a release, because when you run a flat, you can literally feel it in your legs because it's different muscles that are going up and down. As soon as you hit a flat, you get like a little release. 50 meters later, you're already on the next climb. And I think mentally that's really, really hard.
Definitely. And I think we always speak about that kind of the 4 elements, don't you? As soon as you tell someone, oh, I'm going to do the race, it's how long and how much for sort of thing are the ones that come to mind. But actually, the conditions are a huge factor. We attempted, and we were horizontal rain from the first peak to pretty much the last, maybe a 2-hour reprieve in the middle sort of thing. It's just
an hour or two without rain, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
So that made it quite slippery as well. So I guess that hindered your time.
Well, that's another thing. Not only the conditions, but the terrain as well. As soon as you get over a certain height, there's no grass anymore. It's just boulder fields and rocks, and you're kind of scurrying across these rocks, trying not to put your foot through a crevasse or trip over, or it could be loose rock, it could be scree, it could be big jaggedy rocks sort of thing that you're almost kind of rock climbing over a lot of the time sort of thing. So to have those 4 elements in one round or one race, it's incredible.
It's interesting because you guys did it alone. So one of our biggest things was at night when we were going up this massive climb. I hated seeing the torches because you could see it in far, far away land. Then you come over a false peak in the far, far away land. So like doing it by yourself and no one around is
And what I would say is that actually, so part of the Bob Graham is that to prove that you have touched all of the 42 peaks, you need a pacer, at least one pacer with you at each of those peaks.
Okay.
So it's 106 kilometers. It's obviously very mountainous. It's split up into 5 sections, which are all basically road crossings. So you will essentially have at least one, usually 2 pacers with you, who are completely just your support crew each time. So you're not racing them, but you do have people with you. But you're right. The difference is you're pushing your pace. You're not looking at the next light and saying, I'm going to catch them. And there's no one behind you breathing down your neck. It's like you have got to like own your pace, which is really, really tricky because it's not a race. It's a race against the clock rather than it is against other people.
Are you guys going to go back for the sub 24?
We keep saying it, the door's always open.
I mean, it's always there.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think the average age is 40. Pretty much bang on.
You should take
for
like a team. I'll come with you.
Yeah. It's
careful what you wish for because
I'm saying that after my traumatic experience.
Yeah. I think me and Rob, like, there's type 1 fun, type 2 fun, right? And then actually you can look back and say, like, oh, actually we did enjoy it at the time. Me and Rob, in sane mind and body, can say we fucking hated it at the time.
Oh no,
it was awful.
I'm with you.
And the training is awful. Because it's fast walks up and down big horrible mountains. You don't feel like you're getting any fitter. You're eating so much. You actually feel quite heavy. It's not like marathon training where you feel like alert and alive. Like it's like the training's not great.
I'm not sure we had a single blue sky in our training.
No,
which
not
didn't
at
help
all.
matters.
No, it's dark.
Yeah, it is.
It is like they're climbing up and down, and people. But what I do love about it is no one will understand until you've like done it. But then I do have this weird like, why am I keen to go do it again? Why?
There will always be that nagging in the back of our mind. That's why Rob said the door will never be closed. I don't think it will be. I think, being completely honest with ourselves, our life situation would probably have to change to make it much more achievable for us, i.e. living in London with a family at home and with jobs to hold down is going to be hard to go and do a challenge like that, I think.
I heard you talking about training and you had to go a couple of hours out every time to try and find elevation. If I have to go to Box Hill, West Humble train station again, I might shoot something.
Spend a lot of time in that place.
I've done it so many times now, and there's not that much elevation. We have to do the hills twice, on our route to try and get over 1,000 meters. And it's like, it's hectic.
It's horrible.
But you said something interesting again in your other podcast, that you just played down Maris de Sable so much. I was like, oh, actually, maybe it's not that hard.
Maybe I did play it down too much, and my wife told me off when I got home for playing it down too much. She was like, you need to tell people what that is. I think it goes back to this comparison point that we made before, right? So I did the Marathon des Sables 3 and a bit years ago, 250 kilometers across the Sahara Desert, all self-sufficient. So you carry everything, all your kit, all your food for a week. It was really hard, but
just to make it clear.
He couldn't do it. He could get nowhere near doing the Marathon des Sables.
Do you think so?
No, he couldn't do it.
Oh, why?
Just in case Izzy's listening, it was really hard.
But that's interesting. Why?
He could easily do it. I'm kidding. Of course, no, for sure.
The competitive edge.
No, he could do it.
I thought maybe there was an element to it that he maybe wouldn't like.
No. He'd be absolutely fine. I think it is really, really difficult, and the human mind has a tendency to kind of put rose-tinted glasses on and look back at things and kind of forget the hard bits.
Yeah, it's like looking at ex-girlfriends who always romanticize about the good things.
Yeah, exactly like that. It's the reason why I think there are much harder things to do out there is because the cut-offs of the Marathon des Sables are really quite kind. So there are people that hike the whole thing and walk every step, right? Yeah. So that's an endurance challenge in itself. And actually, the longer time you're on your feet, the harder it is because you're getting sunstroke, the heat and that kind of stuff. So it is really hard. But I just think there's so much more out there. There's races now that are doing double that distance in the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's like 250k over 6 days. It's a marathon a day, which is a lot when you're going through sand dunes and when you can only really carry about 2,500 calories. And I was burning 6 to 10 a day. So I lost 5 kilos in a week, which is quite heavy.
Esme is doing 100 days of that.
She's doing 100 days of that for sure. But like
Obviously, conditions.
no condition, but I think the
Yeah.
difference is the self-sufficient element, which
Yeah.
makes it really tricky.
You got the backpack on.
Yeah, you got 10 to 12 kilos on your back.
Quite hard to navigate or not?
No, I didn't find it. I found it a really
Okay.
well organized race.
Okay.
Basically, they have this paint that disintegrates and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And in the night times, as you mentioned before, like there's always a head torch behind or a glow stick behind and stuff like that. So, yeah, very tough race. But I saw that more as an adventure actually than a race. I wasn't looking at where I came in the rankings, stuff like that.
But I think, and I don't know about you guys, I think the adventure part is now starting to knock on me a little bit more. Like reading Ross's book and doing these ultras, I'm liking the little bit of adventure, like watching Esme. How cool is Chris Taylor, by the way?
Yeah, unreal.
What
I've
a
never met
legend.
him before, but what a guy.
Yeah, I had him on the pod like 2 years ago.
Nice.
I don't know why that just thought of that.
Yeah,
But the adventure side, I'm like locking it. I want to see cool things because I think I can do slow and steady for long. And if you can do slow and steady for long, how far can you go and where can you go?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, on that, I think people always talk about kind of levels, don't they? Sort of thing. And then as soon as you found your level at something, you're constantly wanting to look for the next thing, sort of thing.
But
Or
where's
if you
the
find,
limit on that?
But if you find your niche and you know that, slow and steady is the right one, okay, how can I add a different element? I think that's only natural to keep going. And I don't think you'll ever find it, to be honest.
I know it's weird because if that didn't end me, the ultra, that climbing, then nothing will. But that's like the little bit of like confidence. That I've got, like bring on anything, I can take it on. I was saying to Rob before, if you guys ever get into triathlon, because the Norseman was on now. That's also a great event. Do you guys know the Norseman? You didn't see it now?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. It's in Norway. So it's in the Nordic
Fjords.
lake. So it's a triathlon. It's full distance, like Ironman distance. But it's up there. So it's in like the 1 degree water. And you jump off a ferry at 5 a.m. into this water. It's so sick. And you swim in this like 1 degree water. Then you cycle 3,500 meters of climbing on the cycle, 180 Ks. Right? Then you run, but the run's 42.2 Ks. It's a marathon, but half the run is up the mountain. And the finish line is at the top of a peak of a mountain.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
It's so sick. I'll send you the links because it literally was this weekend.
Yeah.
So I was watching it, and I try to get in every year, but it's very limited. But I think that's my next big target. I wanted to know if you guys were ever going to get into a triathlon. Because you guys are cyclists.
Well, yeah. Speaking from personal experience, what I like about running is you don't rely on any machines. Like it's just you. It's how far can your feet carry you, which I really quite like. I like that about the single discipline. I have a lot of respect for triathletes, not just the Ironman race day, but it's more the training. It's the multidiscipline training. And it's these people with full-time jobs who are jumping in the pool at 2 hours before work, like you will have done. And then you're trying to get a run on your lunch, then you're cycling home. It's mental.
Yeah.
I don't really have any desire to go and do an Ironman.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I think we could both do one. It would just take us a long time. So almost I want to kind of look for things that I don't actually think I'd be able to achieve. I've got questions as to whether I would achieve. So me and Rob, basically, I think we want to go head to head in the backyard next year. That's what
I was going to say, when are we going to break this? Like, what is the challenge? So the non-stop Backyard Ultra.
The uncapped. I think it has to happen. I think it's what the fans want, and by the fans I mean me and Rob.
First, they are going back to back against each other. That's exciting.
It's got to happen, right? I mean, we kind of need that fuel in our fire. I think early next year I'm going to go and beat his marathon time, and then we'll go into the backyard together.
So it's not that competitive.
No, not at all. We'll support each other. Yeah, for sure.
But till you drop, that's a great brother.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it kind of goes back to that previous point of like we would have to position it and agree when we were doing it because
I think peak training, like he has all day now.
Exactly.
And
I think
I'd be training 40 hours a week for it. The business would be on the ground.
Yeah,
but I'm going to win that thing.
And at least I have that excuse from the outset, right?
Because it's once in a lifetime. That goes on the mantle.
Well, that's it.
My God.
I mean, I think that's for the will.
Yeah.
Right, parents. Here you go.
Yeah,
I won. Yeah.
But I think we would have to agree that that would be a time of the year, and I think we would probably both purposely not book another event post that year, just because I wouldn't want anything creeping in psychologically that said, "Oh, there's no point in doing this one. You'll injure yourself to the next one."
Yeah,
I would want to leave absolutely every mental variable solved before I would step on that start line.
Well, you guys might be able to go further than anything possible because you have that extra little driven brother that no one else has.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you know, when we spoke about adventure before, and I wouldn't say a backyard is like a super adventurous but it's the unknown. I think that we really like about it, and like the not having a finish line is what made us fall in love with it. Basically, just putting them on because we love finding people's limits for themselves, but actually also to kind of find our own limits. Because what I think what would happen is Rob and I would work as a team for so long on that ultra, right? We'd help get each other through it. He would pull me out of a dark place. We'd go. And then it would probably get to a point where we'd say, okay, like, who's going to win this now? And then we'd kind of have a change in mindset, and it's like, right, the chips are down. Like, where are we going from here, I think?
Because those type of races, everyone has their peaks and troughs at different times.
Yeah.
Especially in the first, but then, like you say, that last piece is where you find yourself, really. So there's a reason why I'm asking this. What would be your biggest piece of advice to someone that's coming to do one of your backyard ultras, say the 24-hour?
I think it would almost definitely depend on who that person was, what they were looking to get out of it, and maybe what they've done before. I think what we're really trying to focus on is, as Charlie said, our tagline is for the misfits. We won't, I don't think, ever be one of those providers that is an absolute stickler for the rules and is kind of a complete, rule book follower. We're looking to put on backyard style events, but we want to bring in the atmosphere. We want to bring the music. We want to encourage people, encouraging each other around there. Make it as inclusive as we can. So I guess that would probably be the first thing to really impress on someone, is actually the inclusivity and the encouragement you can gain from that atmosphere. Now, naturally, the Backyard Ultra is a great sort of style event for that, given if you want to run 100 kilometers and you want to go and run a 100k ultra, you see everyone at the start line. You might run hours by yourself,
you see anyone else,
and then you'll see probably 3 or 4 people at the finish line while you drip in over the course of 12 hours or whatever it is.
No one was there.
Exactly. The Backyard Ultra, you see the same people at that start line on the hour, every hour. So
there must be some like camaraderie with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as Charlie kind of, touched on there, you see the atmosphere really change as well throughout. So, it starts off, people are a little bit nervous, then people ease into it, and the party starts. The sun is beating down. You get the guys with their big egos flying around in 40 minutes who will drop out, quite soon. And then you get nightfall, and that is pretty eerie at times, isn't it? People's demeanor changes. People then start thinking, okay, I've hit 100 kilometers here. If I quit now, I can get an Uber home, I can get a full night's sleep, and I can eat.
So if you start at 2 o'clock, when are you hitting 100k?
So we normally start our events around 10 a.m.
Okay.
And that takes you to around midnight, 1 a.m. Yeah, so the 1 o'clock round. And so at that point, okay, I'm an Uber home, I can get a full night's sleep, I can, get a takeaway at home. I'm not impacting my next day too much, apart from the fact I can't walk downstairs. You then get, because also the next sort of huge milestone in terms of distance, you go for 100 kilometers pretty much straight through to 100 miles, really, isn't it? And that's by 10 a.m. the next day, 24 hours. Then you get to the point where there aren't really any more milestones in terms of distance. Then it's just whoever is there after 24, 25 hours is out there to win, really.
I'll tell you why, because I've got coming to your event on the 3rd of October.
Are you?
I've bought my tickets.
Have you really?
Right. Awesome.
So
that was my big secret.
So some generic advice that is hopefully
but that one starts
then.
at 2.
Yes, it does.
So,
now I'll tell you some rationale behind that. So as Rob mentioned, there are milestones in this. So there are broadly 3 and a bit yards is a half marathon. 6 and a bit yards is a full marathon. So starting at 2 means that you don't have to get up super early and panic, right? Wherever you're coming from, whether it's not London, because we want more people to come, not just from London for this event. So you can come and meet at 12, get your affairs sorted, set your gazebo out. You can start at 2 p.m. You can run a full marathon. You can run an ultra marathon before bed. If that's Rob put it really well before. When you start creeping into that evening, people start to think, right, I can be in bed by 11 here if I just stop now. So we want to give people that option, right? So if you want to start at 2 and you want to run a marathon that you're going to finish at 8:30, 9. If you want to run an ultra, you're going to finish at 10, get an Uber home, that's fine. What we want to then do is show people what the night looks like in a backyard ultra, right? We would say this is an introduction to a backyard ultra, right? This is for people who may only come and do one, but I'd be surprised if it's the only one you ever do because it's so addictive. So to answer your question, it would be 5 a.m. by the time you hit that 100-kilometer mark.
Yeah. And the
By
sun
that
will
time,
be
the sun will
rising.
be coming up.
Yeah.
So we want to get people to that next sunrise to hit that marker. And then after that, I say only, it's obviously not only, but you've then got, some milestones to basically get to, and then finish at that 2 p.m. on the Sunday. What we want people to do is bring a tent, come and camp, come and run 100K, but then sleep, wake up, get some food, and then cheer those last couple of people across the line if there are anyone left at 100 miles.
So just to be clear, I'm doing 100 miles.
Are you?
Yeah.
Like, have we got it 100%?
I'm not coming for anything shorter than that.
That's great. That's really, really good.
Jordan told me about it. Jordan was the one that told me about it. He's bringing heavyweights.
Yeah, he is.
10 heavyweights, the whole tent.
Yeah.
So I'm coming. Yeah. And
That's
I want
amazing.
100 miles.
Yeah. It's what's your strategy going to be?
Well, that's why I
there?
had you on. So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I've taken all the information. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like it. I've done my ultra, so I'm not nervous about the night time or time.
Yeah.
I mean, my ultra took me 22 hours and 30 minutes. So from that perspective, I think I'm fine. I think I'm also a good waddler, slow and steady. So I think from what I've taken in, I would say 50 minutes with 10 minutes rest would be my target.
Perfect.
And play off the crowd. Like I'm a big play off the crowd. Like I'll be chatting to everyone, and just seeing how I go. Hopefully these will last. If this will last, this needs to last.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it's playing off the crowd you want, you're in the right place.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Because you were talking about cheering
every.
so that's like right up my alley. Like I've already pictured myself holding a speaker with like a flare or something.
Yeah.
At like the midnight mark and like having a good song. All that type of. It's that whole, because you don't get that at these races.
No.
And everyone's so lovely at these races that I find as well. All the people that I'm meeting through the heavyweight community. These guys are genuine legends.
Yeah.
And they are over 100 kgs trying to do ultra marathons.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Mackyard Ultra is a party with running going on in the background.
Yeah.
Right? That's developing, and that's exactly where we want to take it.
Yeah.
Is like, it just takes your mind off it. If you're going at 2 a.m. and it's silent and you're in the middle of a woods in the middle of nowhere, that's easy to quit. Yeah. If you're running through a tunnel of people cheering you on with some tunes going off in the background, and you know that you're not far off being able to have a 10-minute rest, you're probably going to go further.
Absolutely. And we're now scaling. We're putting on different events. We've got the Mackyard Ultra style events. We've got other events, but I think the one thing that we are very focused on and have spoken at length about is maintaining that atmosphere and that sort of inclusivity and that sort of party element to these running events, because ultimately that's what we had and that's what we're giving people right back at the finish line of Hackney Half.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited. I completely passed.
I'm in my second week of training already.
Yeah,
I'm long.
nice.
I know exactly what the distance was. I've just been pegging you guys on.
I love that.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Quick fire. I've got quite a funny little thing to do here. Basically, what we're going to do is you're going to point at who is like the person of my question. So you're either going to point at your brother or you'll say me.
Sure.
Right. Okay. So, and do it like quiet so we can, see you do it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And quite quick. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Who's more likely to DNF in an ultra? Ooh. Who's more likely to sign up for a ridiculous challenge after a couple of beers? Who's more likely to spend £500 on running gear they absolutely don't need?
Both. 100% both.
Who's more likely to get a tattoo they'll regret? Oh, well, I've seen a few.
There's two there.
I don't regret this. For the record.
Who makes better decisions under pressure? Nice. Who's going to win your local 5K?
100%.
Oh, there's the competitor.
Anytime, any place,
That was the
anywhere.
perfect
100%.
answer. We're going to have to set that up.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to Google themselves? And that's it. That's my 10.
I like that. I think
We'll
we
put
did
the
well.
scoreboard up.
Yeah,
Let's see
yeah.
what you got. But the big one there was who's going to win the 5K.
Yeah. I think that's another one we need to give the fans.
I think the fans have been...
When we're both feeling good and ready, well, let's go. 5K, Battersea Park. Let's get it done.
Okay, so you've got two ends of the spectrum. It's the 5K and the run to drop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are the two.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
fact, we could incorporate it into one of the laps potentially of the Mackyard Ultra.
Oh, I don't know if you want to be breaking yourself.
Offers there.
But yeah, I think I'd be bang up for it. I think it'd be great. I think genuinely we joke and stuff like that. Like at different times in our illustrious running careers, we've both had like ups and downs, haven't we? But I think it'd be super interesting if we both had a proper training block, both really committed. What could we do on either side of the spectrum? I think.
Do you think you're both genetically the same?
I think.
What's the age, do you think? if there was one, longer leg, taller, shorter?
I
Or
think
you look pretty similar from.
I think Charlie, you're probably longer legs. I've got to be careful how I word this. More naturally heavy set. Is that maybe politically correct? You've got to try harder.
Big boned. I
Big
think.
bones,
yeah.
I used to. I grew up eating a lot of donuts.
Okay. I'm also quite big boned. These legs are big.
Yeah.
Big juicy donuts. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. We've run out of
Yeah.
time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
You
you very
guys
much
are
for
doing
having
an
us.
amazing job with Mackyard. I wish you guys all the success in the world. I hope you both come out of your finance.
And you, yeah.
And one day we'll have this conversation again in a year and it'll look a little different.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
Having us.
Thank you
And,
very much.
See
And
you.
I'm looking forward to doing your event.
See you on 3rd of
We'll see you
October.
there, yeah.
Be
See you
there.
at 2 p.m.
I'll be there.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate.